Today we're going to look at the different options that we can do with the stroke in the Appearance panel. Select your shape. We can click on the word stroke to get the options. The first thing I can do is I can change the cap to a round cap. And next I would like to make a dashed line. And here is where I can put in the size of my dashes and gaps. In this example, for the dashed line, I started with a 4 with a gap of 24. Maybe I want to change that to 8, and we can see what difference that makes live in the app. In the bottom corner, I adjusted the cap to be from a rounded cap to a butt cap. And here I differentiated this with an 8-point dash, gap of 10, a dash of 2, and a gap of 10. So you can see the example here where it's thicker and then immediately smaller. Next I have a line highlighted. Under my stroke options, I want to choose an arrow head. I'm going to choose arrow number 7. And I also want to include the ending of an arrow here. But when I look at the example, that's a bit too big. So if I want to, I can leave the stroke the same width of 6, but then I can adjust the scale of the arrow. So as you can see, the two arrows are the same size. The only difference is the second arrow I have scaled to 50%. You can also click on a straight line and even do something like a flower bottom. And if you want to swap that, maybe I want that part to be green, I can swap the start and the ending of the arrowheads if I like. And I can also align the arrowheads. I can also adjust the width. I can select my shape under stroke, and it's under profile. By default, it's going to say uniform, which basically means straight. And I have some examples from 1 through 6. So I'm going to choose a couple of these so you can see the difference of the width. So again, you're not going to see the word width, but know that when you click the profile, that is what it is talking about. The profile is the width. And just like with the arrowheads, I've got my width profile. And I can click right here to flip along the edge if I want to adjust which size I want for the width. So over here, I can flip that as well. I've got my shape selected. As you can see, it has a fill color of yellow and a stroke of red, but I want to add an additional stroke. I can go by extending the Appearance panel. I can click in the top right corner and I can click Add a New Stroke. In this case, I want my new stroke to be black. And I can adjust the size of my new stroke as well. So I have jumped ahead a moment and I actually have 3 different examples and I want to show you the difference. So remember, we were just going to the Appearance panel and we added a new stroke that is 4 points, but it's directly in the middle. So how can I go and change where that stroke is aligned to that center yellow part? With my stroke selected, I can go back to my stroke options here, and I can click my align. So in the middle example, I'm going to click the word stroke. And under the align, I can go and choose align that to the inside. And then I can also go to another example and ask it to align on the outside. So with the alignments, you have 3 other options. Also, while I'm in the Appearance panel, under the fill, I can always adjust the opacity if I wanted to. So when I adjust the opacity here, notice that it is changing the opacity for everything. So these are just a couple of the different ways we can do this. Remember, we can always go to Window and Stroke, to get our stroke options. We can adjust arrowheads if we like. We can make it dashed and dotted. We can adjust the scalings of the arrowhead as well. We can flip, and we can always go and adjust the corners and the types of caps. Thanks for learning all about how to use strokes in Adobe Illustrator from Miss Roberts at Southern Lee High School.